Hello there. This is an astrological forecast for Taurus for April of 2012. And this also applies if you have a Taurus ascendant. So, my dear Taurians, first thing to say to you is happy birthday for those of you that have birthdays this month. I hope you have a really wonderful day and I wish you a happy year ahead. So, Taurus, much happening this month, and it's particularly affecting your creativity, your self-expression, how you come across, how you want to appear, your finances, your work and your career, and a little bit on your relationships. So let's still remember that we've got a lot going on this month in your 12th house. So there's going to be some completions happening. Time for you to complete, to let go of things. Taurus, you're not the best at letting go. You do like to hang on because you like to know that you've got something familiar rather than the unknown. But until your birthdays, the first 2 or 3 weeks of this month, it's going to be a letting go process. We've got Venus square to Neptune. And this is going to be very good for your imagination, very good for anything artistic, very good for any creative ideas that you've got financially that you could put into action, because the Venus is in your second house this month, and having Venus in your second house is a wonderful opportunity for drawing some money to you. It also could be a time, although I say could, to have a little flutter, not much, but a little flutter. That Venus sometimes in the second house is fortunate, just for a short period. But it's going to be a very good time for you to possibly get into a relationship this month. Not quickly. Try to go in it slowly, Taurus. Not that you do anything terribly quickly, but sometimes you do, especially if you see a relationship or see somebody you're attracted to. We do have Venus square to Mars from your second to your fifth houses. So you may find somebody that you're very attracted to. Somebody comes into your life that it's like, particularly in this first week or two, that you feel really drawn to. Well, with Mercury retrograde for the first 4 days, and Mars retrograde still for the first 2 weeks of this month, don't take action. Just see it, look at it, and then towards the end of the month, if you still feel attracted and it still feels like it's something right, then go for it at that point. So this month, we've got a lot happening the last 2 weeks of the month where I think things are going to open up for you. You're going to feel a sense of relief, a sense as though you've been waiting for something to happen. You've been in a holding pattern, like an aeroplane, not quite sure where you can land. Well, a lot of this has to do with the retrogrades, and a lot has to do with completions and ending things well. And letting go. If you do that and you're willing to do that in the first 2 weeks of the month, by the third week in the month, you should feel a real turbocharge. We've got Mars going direct. Finally, since January, it's been retrograde in your fifth house. So if you want to start a new business, if you want to go into business, if you want to do something entrepreneurial, if you want to do something artistic, creative, involved in the theatre, in the arts, musically, this is a great time to do it after the 14th of the month. Before the 14th of the month will be a time to reassess your goals. This Mars retrograde nearly coming to an end. It's probably slowed you down. It's forced you, hopefully, to take a closer look at what your goals are, what your values are, what's important to you. Are you living according to these values? To also look at how you're dealing with unpleasant emotions. And maybe you need to speak to a friend or a mentor or even a counsellor about some of the emotions that you've been experiencing, so that you're sharing it and not really holding it all in. The last week of the month, we've got the Sun trine to Mars from your first to your fifth house. This should be a time when you start to feel good about yourself. You feel good about meeting people, about going out, real time of coming out. And of course, with your birthdays coming up as well, that too is usually a good time for you, Taurus. We've also in the last week of the month got the Sun from your first house to Pluto in the ninth. This could bring somebody from overseas into your life, could bring some new business internationally into your life. But it would be a very good time for getting things done and for doing something that involves some very deep study, anything spiritual, anything involving astrology, metaphysical arts or sciences. This would be a great time to be looking at that in more detail. So this month, a little bit of romance potentially. I think the work will start to move forward more towards the end of the month. And then, of course, it's your birthday time. And so the last week in the month does look very favourable to you, especially in your confidence level and your energy levels, looking to feel brighter and having much more of a boost. Against that backdrop is the waning square that we have from Pluto to Uranus. And for you, that is from your 12th to your 9th houses. So I think there may be some unexpected surprises coming up for you, Taurus. We are living in a time of huge change, economic, political, social, financial, and a lot of the things are really out of our control. We do have control over some of the things in our lives, but because of these huge changes, try not to get too disheartened if things don't move as quickly or in the way that you anticipated. Simply accept that we are all on this planet going through huge vibratory changes. So if we can have a little bit of sympathy and help for one another, that may ease this transition. So I wish you a very happy birthday. And if you'd like to come to me for a reading or ask me an astrology question for $25 that I answer in an email of up to 150 words, whatever it is, I'd be delighted to hear from you, even if you'd just like to sign up for my free newsletter. Thank you very much for listening. Bye for now.